guys, it's Steve Davis, Stillwater Woodcraft. We're back here working on some projects, some how-to stuff. Spring's almost here. That gets me thinking about two things: turkey hunting and crappie fishing. So what I thought we'd do today is make a wing bone turkey call. Okay, this is just made out of 3 different pieces of wing bone, and it's real easy. They're just slid together. This is a super simple project, useful for turkey hunting. You can carry it in your shooting bag, use it to, if you make noise and stuff, you can use it to cover up your sounds. Simple to operate. So let's get some stuff together and we'll make us a turkey call. Alright, to start this project, first thing we need is some turkey wing bones. Now you're going to need the humerus, the radius, and the ulna. Basically, if you think of your arm as a turkey wing, you need the big bone up here and the 2 bones in the forearm. And they're going to look like that once you get as much meat off of them as you can. Now before we boil the meat off of them, what we're going to want to do is cut the ball ends, the joint ends, off these bones. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to use an old knife. Okay, we don't want to use a good knife here because bones will tear up a blade pretty quick. What we want to do is cut these bones just right behind that ball end. We don't want to cut all the way through. We just want to score it. You can cut all the way through, use a hacksaw or something like that maybe. We just want to score that around as good as we can. Want to get a good deep score on there so it breaks even. Nice. Once we got that scored around, we can just take it and pop that off. Okay? We'll pop that end of that bone off. We'll do that both ends here. Like I said, we want to get close to that joint because we want to preserve as much of this bone as we can until we get them cleaned up good, and then we can decide where to cut them down from there. But if we cut it off in this process, we can't put it back on later if we decide we need it when we go to fit these together. But just take your time, work all the way around that bone. A good score. When you do this, you put your thumb on there and pop that off. You gotta be careful, these bones might be really sharp on the end if it splinters maybe. So once we get that cut off, we're just going to take a piece of wire or something like that and push all the marrow out that we can push out. Clean the inside of that bone. So, basically all we got to do is take these bones, cut the ends off, push the marrow out, and once we get that cleaned up, then we can boil these and get the rest of the meat off and get them cleaned up and sanitary. Something to keep in mind, you know, we got turkey here, poultry might have some kind of funkiness on it, so keep everything clean and don't be spreading salmonella around your house or whatever. And I'll just work the rest of these bones down, and then we'll get them in some boiling water. Alright, got these bones cleaned up. You can see now I just got a bunch of little bone tubes. Once you break the ends off these bones, then you can get a hold of some of that stuff that's stuck to the bone and it'll strip off a lot easier. Just poke the marrow out with wire. So, the only thing we need to do to prep these bones further so we can start assembling this call is to take these, put them in some boiling water, and then boil them until all the meat and marrow comes off of them. Then after that, I'll take them out. I'll set them someplace warm where they can get good and dry. Okay, we boiled our bones here and made sure they're completely cleaned out. So we cut these off at the backs of the ball into this bone. On this little bone here, you'll notice one end is flat. Okay, that's going to be our mouthpiece end. So basically all there is to it is to lay these bones out the way they came off the bird and just start fitting them together. Basically like that. I like to turn them around here and get them straightened up the way they look good. I kind of like to make that mouthpiece flat there, you know, where you're going to hold it and then have it come down at a curve. So it works. So what we did when we boiled this is these bones are wet, so they're still a little bit flexible, makes them a little easier to get together. So I'm going to set this assembled. Here's the other one out of this set. I'm going to set these while they're assembled off the side and let them dry, and then we'll glue them together and they'll be finished turkey calls. Alright, so we're going to glue this together now that it's dried up. What I'm going to use is some pine resin glue. I want to keep this traditionally made, but you can use anything like some epoxy or something like that. What we want to do is glue these joints together, and since they're slid together all 3/8 of an inch or so, they don't need a bunch of glue in there, and we want to not get any glue in the inside of the airway. So the way I like to do it is just have it the way that I'm going to want it when it's done. You just slide them bones apart just a 1/4 of an inch or so they're still together and lined up the way you want. That way now I can put some glue around here and then just push it together a little bit and it'll be the way I wanted it. So I'm going to get some glue melted down here and we'll stick this together. I start to glue this, I'm going to have to move kind of fast because I don't want the pine resin to harden up before I get it glued together. So we'll get to that here in just a second. Alright, I got some pine resin melted down and just a toothpick. As you can see, everything I've done here, you know, could easily be done in the field also. I want to go lightly, I hope, around this joint. Starting to harden up on me already. Yep. Move faster than that. Lightly around that joint and push it together. I'm going to try to smooth any of that out. So I get these joints glued together and then we'll finish off the edges here so it's, you know, not rough. Alright, I finished gluing these joints together. You can see our resin on there. I just took my fingers while it was warm, smoothed that out. So that is your finished wing bone turkey call. Now to use that, you're going to make a kind of a pucker kiss type with your lip, like that. You can play around with it, figure it out. go out to the woods, listen to some turkeys, use your wing bone to learn to imitate them. So hope this has been a good project for you guys. Get your turkey calls made. Spring's almost here. This has been Steve Davis with Stillwater Woodcraft. I thank you for your views, comments, and all your support. We'll see you on the next one.